Washington, D.C., and New York City via Philadelphia. And so the first AirMail flight to take off from Washington, D.C., there was a big celebration, and members of Congress and the Wilson administration were on hand. The Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary, and swung the propeller, and the engine would start. And they swung it and swung it and swung it. The engine refused to start. Finally, somebody looked in the fuel tank, and it was empty. So they filled it up with fuel, and they finally got the airplane into the air. The pilot misread his compass to south instead of north. He got lost over Virginia and finally landed next to a railroad, and the nation's first AirMail went by train, or so it would seem. However, in New York City, the mail bound for Washington, D.C. got off without a hitch. And the pilot flew to Philadelphia, landed, exchanged mail there, continued on to Washington, and completed the first scheduled AirMail flight. But by that time, everyone had gone home. So the Curtiss Jenny was a very popular airplane in the U.S., being built as a training plane during World War I. It was actually designed before we entered the war, but it was not combat. Go down simply by a run up the engine, start to go the wheel. So they built more than 6,800 Jennies during World War I, and they were available after the war quite a decent price. In fact, you could buy a brand new Jenny still in the package for $500. That is an original airplane built in 1918. It's powered with an original Hispano Suiza 180 horsepower V8 engine. Water-cooled, but a very reliable engine and quite powerful for its day. Most Jennies had the 90 horsepower Curtiss LS5 engine. That was the 90 horsepower. The Hispano Suiza, or Hisso Jennies, had 180 horsepower. So those are the kinds that were used for the first AirMail flight. They were used for advanced training as well. The Navy preferred the Hisso-powered Jenny, but they were still relatively few in number. After the war, this is what the barnstormers flew primarily, because like I said, you could buy one for $500 brand new. Now that's the equivalent in today's money of about $7,000. So imagine buying a brand new airplane today for only $7,000. That's how the barnstormers got started. And so you can imagine if you're living out in the Midwest somewhere, you've never seen an airplane before, you're sound overhead that sounds like the neighboring farmers and tractors, and you look up, this is what you saw. Many Americans, the first flying machine they ever saw. And now watch how slowly it can fly. One of the things that made it such a great training airplane, it's almost impossible to fall this airplane. It just flies incredibly slowly when you throttle back in. Of course, it also doesn't fly very fast. Its top speed of about 75 miles an hour, which by World War I standards is not particularly fast. The other thing about the Jenny is it has a tremendous number of threads and wires holding the wings together. And that was great for another famous barnstorming stunt, and that was wing walking, where the mechanic or another aviator would climb out of the front cockpit and climb out on the wings of the airplane. And they even sometimes climbed up onto the top wing and transferred to the bottom wing of the plane flying above them. And they did all kinds of great things walking around on the wings because there's lots of struts and wires to hang on to. So that airplane, as I said this original. It has been stored here twice with a lot of other maintenance in the meantime. And Rob Williams is going to bring it in for a landing now. As he approaches for a landing, I am going to be quiet for a change. And that is so that you may be able to hear the wind whistling. So here it comes. Rob Williams, the original Curtis Jennings. Airplane more than 100 years old. Yeah, very nice. Three-point landing. And the Curtis Jennings. Well, it's the ground crewman out there to help Rob turn around if he needs it. Again, modern airplanes are steered on the ground not only with the rudder but also with the brakes, separate brakes for each wheel. But in World War I, no brakes made them a little hard to maneuver on the ground. By the way, I'm going to take a moment while we talk to Jenny to mention something. The local sheriff's office contacted us earlier today. It appears that they're looking for an escaped convict in the area, and they said that they may encounter a roadblock on your way home. But if you retain your airshow wristband and show that at the roadblock, they'll let you right on through. So it's just